Hey everybody, it's Clay. Thank you for joining me for our how-to guide on how to fix computers, PCs, doing all types of repairs from little to very extreme. Today we're working on one that I see pretty commonly here, and that's going to be liquid damage. You accidentally spill a cup of coffee, for instance, like this one, or just water on it, or any type of liquid. It can do some pretty catastrophic damage to a motherboard. Luckily this customer brought this to me early enough, so we might be able to fix it, and I'm going to show you how, using a few techniques that I like to use, and a couple neat little tools to hopefully bring this guy back to life. So let's get started. Okay, now that we got the motherboard out, we're just going to kind of once over it with my microscope here and look for any corrosion. I can already see some right here. I also see, looks like there is some liquid damage over the processor. And then next we're going to use a little bit of heat and flux, and we are going to clean it up. So let me get my mask on here. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to use what's called a flux paste. The reason why I'm wearing the mask is actually because this stuff is toxic, but I just use a good old toothpick and get it all in there. I'm going to use a pretty heavy amount because this is some pretty heavy corrosion, and we want to make sure to get it all out. So right here. What the flux does is it actually helps the solder on the joints flow a little better. We're going to add some heat to the flux, and what it'll do is help clean the corrosion off of the solder. We're going to take my hot air station here, crank it up to about 350 degrees Celsius. You'll see as soon as I put the hot air onto this flux, it'll immediately melt down. I do believe it is hot enough, so let's go ahead and start. What we're going to do is actually take some rubbing alcohol, and then we're going to start cleaning it up a little bit. For 91% isopropyl alcohol, it is actually safe for electronic components. Make sure you get a soft bristle brush. You don't want to break any components off. This too, you don't want to leave a bunch of sticky flux on a motherboard. Okie doke. Well, that's it for this. What we're going to work on next is we're going to let it dry off, and then once it dries off, we'll put everything back together. We'll put new thermal paste on, we'll stick it back in the machine, and then we're going to boot it up and see what it does. Alright, now it's time to see if it boots up.